We hope that this introduction helps you better understand the parts of MLA 9, which is the Modern Language Association's ninth edition of its Manual for Research Writers. And we're going to introduce you to those 9 elements as succinctly as we possibly can. So, there are 9 elements. Here they are on the page. And the first one is the author. So, in the simplest circumstances, the author is written as the last name, comma, followed by the first name, period. Students very often ask us what happens if there are 2 authors, in which case you have your Mick Jagger and Keith Richards example. What happens if there's more than 2 authors, in which case you add comma et al, which means and others in Latin. And then the third possibility is that it's a corporate author, so a company name or an organization. Of course, it's really important to remember that if there is no author at all, you go straight to element 2, which is the title. The second element is the title. And typically, the title goes in quotation marks with a period on the inside of the quotation marks. And we use title case, which means that all the important words have the first letter capitalized. Having said that, if you use an entire source, which doesn't happen often in a high school, so it would be a whole book or a whole movie or a whole thing, then the title becomes italicized. And that's our last example at the bottom of the screen. The third element is the container. And we have 3 examples of a container. A container can be the publication, so a newspaper or a magazine name. It can be a website in case of the World Fact Book. And it could also be a YouTube channel. In the YouTube example, you'll see that we have 2 containers in yellow. So one is the White House and the second is YouTube. And you'll notice before introducing a second container, you must have a period, not a comma. The most common way we run into other contributors is with works that are edited by someone, but it also applies with film, with directors or translations, and sometimes on public radio we have hosted by. That's another one we see. So you have a couple of examples here. One is a translated book and the other is a TV show. The next one is version. So this is a good example. This is the kind of situation you'll see this in different versions of a song in Beyonce's example. The next one is number, and we see this a lot with academic journals mostly, but it also applies in television episodes. But most academic journals will have a volume and an issue number, so it's volume and number, and those are abbreviated. The 7th element is the publisher, and there are some rules around the publisher. It's got a couple of exceptions. The most important exception is if you are citing a newspaper or a magazine or any kind of periodical, you leave the publisher off your list. When the publisher is the same as the container, you leave out the publisher. When the publisher is the same as the author, you leave out the author. When the container is the same as the author, you leave out the author. The date of publication is important, and you're going to take, if you can't find it, and very often it's really just a copyright date at the very, 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 very bottom of a website. But if you can't find it, you're going to have to do the date of access, which is at the bottom of the screen in the last example. It's also important to see that the format of the date of publication is not intuitive for American kids. It is the day of the month followed by an abbreviated month, generally, with 5 exceptions. So it's abbreviated to 3 letters with a period followed by the year. And there is never a comma in the date, ever. Again, it's not intuitive. We'll come back to this in a few slides. The 9th element, so the last one, is the location. And for the most part, your location is the URL, but we leave out the http:// In rare instances that you're citing a book in print, the location is going, or even an ebook, the location is going to be the page range if it's a part of a book. Obviously, if there's no page range, you've read the whole book, then you don't need to include that information. So I said we would come back to dates. Honestly, there are some exceptions to how to abbreviate the date. So they include May. There's no punctuation at all because it's the full word. 4-letter months are not abbreviated. So June and July are not abbreviated. And then the fourth one is September, which is abbreviated to 4 letters. So SEPT period. So you have examples for all the months here. We don't abbreviate containers, so it's important for you to spell things out. And here are some examples that students cite very often. These slides are available to you in ClassLink, so you can come back and refer to them at any time.